Namaste. Namaste and welcome to this short Monday morning practice, which I am using as my warm-up for teaching the Zoom classes this morning. And we're going to focus a lot on prone back bending, which is poses like cobra, locust, and the bow. Mostly we're doing cobra variations, but so I'm going to do a warm-up for the whole of the spine, but also really focusing on the shoulders and the upper back. So join me on your mat. We're going to take the feet nice and wide apart and start with Kati Chakrasana. So a little soft in the knees to drop the weight into the feet, particularly the heels, a little lift in the belly muscles, and then gently twisting from side to side. We want to use this opportunity to wriggle the body in a way that is useful for us ourselves. So it doesn't need to be exactly what I'm doing if it's something else that would suit me better. I find that I like to let the hips kind of move with the shoulders a little bit to begin with. As long as it doesn't twist in the knees, that's fine. But then I like to bring the hips towards the front and resist the movement a little, so I get a little bit more action down the muscles of the side body, particularly in this case the obliques. And then when I've done this for a little while, I can free my feet, pivot on the toes, and just let that movement become a little bit less rigid and more about flow. The arms are really loose, wrapping the body, tapping the body wherever they fall. And I can add a soft bend in the knees. If you would like to, you can too. A little bounce and twist. And that allows some of the larger muscle groups, particularly of the legs, to warm up, to begin to fire up, to begin to create that sense of movement and strength. If you want to, you can touch the opposite shoulder in front of you, opposite hip behind. And then when you're ready, you can lose the bounce, simply pivot for a moment, and then bring your feet to steadiness and sway back to center a little at a time. And by working in this way, we've limbered and warmed up lots and lots of the body, particularly through the torso. Just roll your shoulders a few times. And as you roll your shoulders, perhaps gently looking up and down, beginning to move the neck in a way that feels good to you. And then coming to a standing upright, we're going to move through the upper back in a kind of standing cat pose. So we'll take the arms out to the side, round through the spine as we bring the backs of the hands towards each other, the chin to the chest, little tuck under, little softness through the knees. And then as you stand tall, drawing the elbows back, and then the arms behind the body, lifting your chin, turning the palms upwards, and feel that gentle squeeze between the shoulder blades. Rounding through the spine, backs of the hands come forwards towards each other, reach the fingertips away from each other, scoop the belly in, and standing tall, elbows back, arms lengthening, chin lifted, palms upright. Rounding through the spine as the backs of the hands come towards each other, standing tall, elbows back, chin lifted, palms up. Just a few of these, and you can see that it moves the whole of the spine as well. Nice rounding, which we can use to get rid of some of our postural tension, and opening, which we use to develop strength, engaging those muscles at the back of the body. When you're ready, just floating the arms down to the side. That might have been quite strong across your shoulders, so giving your shoulders a little wiggle, and you can do that anytime. Wiggling the shoulders is no problem at all. Let's just finish our standing upright stuff with a little bit of neck action. So standing really tall, making sure your chin is retracted, that your head is centered over the body, that we haven't got a strain in the back of the neck already. And then right ear to right shoulder. And here, just not forcing, just finding wherever your head naturally goes to. Once you're there, perhaps even pressing the left palm and shoulder down towards the floor to get that additional sense of length. And if you feel you've got a little bit more to give, you can gently lift and lower really slowly your head as if you were nodding really slowly. We do this about maybe 3 times. You could do it more if you find it really useful. Coming back to the center, relaxing your left arm as you bring your head upright. And just notice how it feels left and right. Give yourself a little wiggle. And then again, retracting your chin to find that long neck, long throat. Left ear, to left shoulder. Just pressing the right palm down to descend the right shoulder. Feel a little bit of extra length there. And then if it feels like you need a bit more, gently lifting your chin and lowering your chin. Nice and slowly, nice and controlled, feeling the sensations that are the result of your movement and the connections between the different parts of the body. When you're ready, have done 3, maybe 5 if you prefer, coming back to center, relaxing your right arm, bringing your head upright, and just making note of how that feels in the body. So hopefully everything feels open and prepared. We might just do a quick chest opener. I know I said it would be the last thing, but I've just thought of this. So we've done this movement through the spine where we've rounded and opened, but sometimes it's useful to do a little bit more for the chest because most of us have this slightly slouchy, slightly forward position, rounding through the upper back and shortening the muscles of the chest. So here we can take our hands behind us and interlace the fingers so that the palms are facing the back of the body. And then here we're going to keep the elbows bent, bring the palms of the hands towards each other, and then bring the elbows towards each other. So the effect is to go from this sort of rounded shape, palms together, elbows coming towards each other, really opens the front of the body. And here we tend to counterbalance with our chins, but we want to avoid that. We can even look up slightly to keep that same sense of open through the throat as we get in the chest. So with the elbows moving close together and bent, we get quite a different feel than when we lengthen the arms. So beginning with this and just seeing if you can draw the elbows a little closer together, really feeling the effort that the upper back is making, which is good. And then when you're ready, you can punch or lengthen the arms, punch the hands down, lengthen the arms, and just see if that changes the sensation across the front of the body. I now get a much more of a stretch underneath my rib cage. You might get it somewhere else, that's okay. And you can even lengthen the arms down to open the chest, firm buttocks, firm belly, and come back to center just a couple of times, which is quite nice. And then from here, we're going to slide the back of the left hand over to the right hip. So that pins the left arm to the left side, and we're going to tuck the right wing in as well. And then with this, we can gently turn the head from side to side, looking over your right shoulder, perhaps gently turning the head as if you were shaking the head no. A little side to side action, similar to the nodding, but obviously different way. And then coming back to center, we're going to lengthen the arms down again, and then draw the back of the right hand to the left hip, tuck the left elbow in, and the same thing, just beginning with turning the head from side to side. And when you're ready, looking over the left shoulder, maybe giving yourself a little gentle twist of the head. Maybe a slight lean of the left ear towards the left shoulder. Nice and slow and steady, 3 of those. And then bringing your head back to center, just relaxing the arms, separating the fingers, rolling through the shoulders. And you'll notice, hopefully you feel nice and broad across the chest as well. So now we can come down to the mat to do a little bit of cat-cow action here on the floor, which is a great preparation for the prone back bends. So hands and knees, focusing on spreading your fingers out nice and wide, scooping the belly in, pressing the tops of the feet into the floor, or tucking the toes under and pressing the tops of the balls of the feet towards the floor, whichever of these feels good. Begin by lifting the belly, and we'll just roll the shoulders in place. So we're keeping the arms quite long, but not locked straight. And this roll of the shoulders is really mobilizing the upper back and chest area. Particularly, we can begin to feel the shoulder blades gliding around on the upper back. And we can go the opposite way as well. Again, not locking the elbows straight, but keeping the arms lengthened, keeping that gentle lift through the belly, and just feeling all the movement that's happening in the upper back. And then when you're ready, you can come off your wrists, just rest them, maybe give them a little roll out, particularly if you haven't done any work on your wrists yet today. Give them a shake. So this movement of rolling through the shoulders while we're in the hands and knees position is something that takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of getting used to. So don't be perturbed if on your first go you're like, I'm not sure if I'm just shrugging the shoulders up or down or doing a thing. It doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're feeling some movement and tuning into that feeling of movement. Coming back to your hands and knees, this time we'll do our cat pose, pressing the tops of the feet down, scooping the belly in. We're gently going to lift the tailbone and the chest and the chin at the same time, a little soft in the elbows. Feel that you're gliding the shoulder blades down, maybe broadening the chest. And then scooping the belly in, rounding through the back of the body, chin towards chest, and the shoulders and the hips come slightly towards each other as well. Keep length through the arms, but don't lock the elbows. You can inhale as you open your chest, looking forward, gentle lift in the tailbone, scooping the belly in, and exhale as you round. Press into the mat to create space underneath the body, chin to chest. Inhaling forward. And exhaling, rounding, scooping, lifting. Very good. Let's do one more. Inhaling forward. And exhaling, rounding. And then from here, we can take the knees a little bit further back. And I'm going to tuck my toes under so I can get a really good purchase with the feet. Dropping the hips down towards the heels, we're going to keep the cat motion. So as you inhale, coming forward, maybe the forearms coming towards the mat, lifting the chest, the shoulders come towards the hands. And then as you exhale, rounding through the spine, dropping the hips back, lengthening through that space underneath the arms, maybe forehead towards the floor. Inhaling forward and moving cat. The cat is always moving, but this is a much more dynamic one. Exhaling back. And we move slowly. Moving quickly isn't going to gain us anything. It prevents us from really tapping into the sensation of the movement and what we need to be strengthening or activating for support. Let's do one more of these. The closer your nose comes to the floor as you go forward, the more challenging it is. So working at a higher level if that makes it easier or more accessible for you. When you've done about 5 of those, just coming back onto your knees and again releasing your wrists. We don't want to tire the wrists out too much just by doing these warming up exercises, but giving ourselves the opportunity to let go of any tension that we might have created. You can always give the back of your wrist a nice little massage as well. So moving cat, dynamic cat like this is really good for strengthening the upper body. So you'll feel it perhaps in your arms, across your chest, across your upper back, across your shoulders. So anything that you need to do to release that, give a little stretch or a little wiggle, and so that you're not taking too much effort into the next practice. So before we come down to doing a prone back bend on the mat, lunge here is really nice to, again, move and open that chest area. So we're going to do a little bit of a dynamic work on our lunge. So if you come into a right foot forward lunge, and just because we haven't done very much for the hips, we can gently begin to move backwards and forwards in the lunge. In an upright position is fine. You can have your hands on the floor if you prefer. Stick something underneath your left knee if you need to. And just allowing a little bit of opening to begin to happen down the left side of the body. And also that sense of supporting your movement with your legs. Because in prone back bends, the low body is what stabilizes and supports us. So we need to have strong legs, strong working buttocks as well. When you've done a few of these and you're feeling nice and mobile, we can add some arms. So we can breathe in, taking the arms up to open the chest. And as you breathe out, drawing the elbows back and down, perhaps leaning slightly backwards, firm in the buttocks, firm in the legs. Breathing in as you reach forward, perhaps gently leaning forward, and breathing out as you open your chest, elbows down, a beautiful sense of arching through the spine. One more like that, breathing in, nice and firm in the buttocks and the belly and that back leg as you breathe out. Very good. We're going to swap legs so that we don't tire one side more than the other, and take a little downward dog in between. So coming into a gentle down dog, and what that helps to do is it helps to release the spine into a more neutral spot and gives us an opportunity to wiggle out anything that needs wiggling. Perhaps a little paddle of the heels, a little turn of the head from side to side. When you're ready, coming to hands and knees, stepping forward with your left foot. So again, we're starting with that nice upright lunge position, just beginning to ease in and out of this opening sensation down the right side of the body now. And we want to find the strength in the legs by engaging in the buttocks, engaging the feet, and particularly the back shin towards the floor. Just finding the range of movement. You don't have to move very far. It's all about your personal exploration. When you're ready, in a more upright lunge position, firming the belly, we're going to breathe in, as we take the arms up, and breathe out as we draw the elbows back, opening the chest, firming the back of the body and the legs. Breathing in, reaching the arms forward and up. Breathing out, opening the elbows, drawing the elbows perhaps slightly behind the body, firm in the buttocks and the legs. One more, breathing in and breathing out. And then when we've done these three, we can again step into downward facing dog and give ourselves a little bit of a wiggle, a little bit of a shake or a shimmer, a little touch of a length, and then gently bringing the knees back down to the mat. So I'm going to do one more lunge variation before moving into teaching my class. So this is all preparation for prone back bending, but it's all good for opening the chest, supporting the back of the body as well. But I should do a separate video with the prone back bends on. So first we've got the right knee forward, and we're just going to do a little movement through the spine. I'm going to support my left knee for this one, just because I want to tuck the left toes under, and that makes my knee a little bit sensitive against the floor sometimes. You can manage a bit, but not too much. So from our upright lunge, we want to find a gentle tuck under, not too much. So if you're over tucked, usually you might not want to do that. But I'm engaging my buttocks to gently tuck under. I can draw in with the belly muscles, and I'm going to start with the arms at cactus arms. So elbows bent, arms at shoulder height. And I'm going to twist towards the right knee. So left elbow towards right knee. I get this little twist. I can feel the sides of the body engage, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, really open the chest. And then as I untwist, I'm going to reach my left hand to my left hip behind the body and reach the right arm up and over. This is like a half camel pose. And then from there, I'm going to reach the right hand forward, let the buttocks come backwards, take the left hand forward, and just find myself long over my front leg. Toes up, toes down, doesn't matter. Coming back to the center, I'm going to finish all of that by reaching down to the right side, reaching the left arm over in a side bend, and then come back to center. So let's do that 2 more times. Cactus arms, twist towards the right. As you untwist, take your left hand down to your left hip or reach for your left heel, right arm up and over, drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, strong in the legs, firm in the belly, and then reaching the right hand forward, and then the left hand forward, coming into this half Hanumanasana, and we're lengthening the front leg, then coming back to your lunge and finishing by reaching the right hand down and the left arm up and over. So nice tucked under position, firm belly, firm buttocks, side bend. One more time. From your lunge, spiraling towards that front leg, unwinding to take the leg or the heel, reaching the right arm over, and then firm in the belly, cartwheel the arms forwards and take your hips towards your heel. Come back to an upright position and just finish with that beautiful side bend. And then back to the center, we're going to come through downward facing dog, lengthen that back leg particularly. So the back leg for me is the one that does most of the stabilizing. So here in my down dog, I'm going to press my chest towards my thighs, lift the left leg up, just roll through the ankle a couple of times in each direction, maybe give that knee a little bend and stretch. When I come down to down dog, I can move my knee support to the right side and then come into the lunge on the right. So right toes tucked under. You can do this with your toes tucked flat. You just need to press the top of the foot into the floor. So from our lunge, we come into cactus arms. And this time, scooping the belly in, getting that gentle tuck under. Right elbow towards left knee, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, feel the sides of the body engage. As you unwind, on the first round, take your right hand to the back of the right hip, lift the left arm up and over, draw the shoulder blades towards each other, really firm in the buttocks and the legs, pressing the feet into the floor, and then cartwheeling the arms forwards. Let the hips come backwards, just leaning over this lengthened front leg. And it doesn't need to be all the way straight. You can bring the toes up. You can soften the knee. When you're ready, coming back to an upright position, we're lengthening the left hand down and the right arm up to do a nice side bend here. Again, strong in the legs. Back to an upright lunge, cactus arms. Revolve to the left, right elbow towards left knee. Unwind, reach the right hand behind you, reach the right arm up and over, perhaps reaching for your leg or your heel. And then from here, cartwheeling the arms forwards, maybe this time lifting the toes. If the toes were down previous time, lengthening over that front leg. Coming back to your upright lunge, reaching the left hand down and the right arm up, side bending so that the hips are centered. And coming back to center, cactus arms, one more time. Revolving to the left, feeling that strength through the upper back, through the legs, unwinding, reaching the right hand behind you, the left arm up and over, firm in the belly, the buttocks, that space between the shoulder blades. Woo. Cartwheeling the arms forward, letting the hips come down, maybe give yourself a little wiggle. Coming back to the center, reaching the left arm down and the right arm up into your side bend. And then returning through center, hands to the floor. Let's step back into downward facing dog. And we're going to release the right leg up, if that feels good. It doesn't need to go very high. Maybe rolling through the right ankle, a couple of times in each direction, maybe gently bending and stretching that knee. And then when you're ready, come to find any comfortable place to sit on the mat. It doesn't matter how you sit. You could be kneeling, you could take child's pose if you wanted to. And just take a moment in whatever resting position feels good to you to observe the effect of your practice. Allow your breath to settle back into its natural rhythm. Feel your heart rate, which will have been elevated, coming back to a nice, gentle rhythm. So this is the perfect place to stop if you're after just a short practice. Maybe do legs up the wall or a relaxation for a few minutes. 5 to 7 minutes is perfect for relaxation. Stick a piece of music on that you enjoy. If you prefer, you can do the follow-on video for this, which is prone back bending, which I will be recording after I've taught the full class today. I hope you've enjoyed this practice. Really lovely way to open the chest and begin to strengthen the back body and the legs as well. And I wish you well on your yoga journey. Namaste.